Hey everybody, what's up? Jess here, LJM Farms, and I think today I'm gonna do some modifications to my skid steer quick attach that I have here on this tractor loader. So I've had a little bit of problems off and on with it, with different attachments, and originally I thought it was the attachments, and you know, just cheaper attachments from different manufacturers. And I got to reading on this particular model and loader of tractor, and I guess other people were having problems with it. So I guess there was some years there and maybe some models where Kubota had some issues with their skid steer quick attach design, and so then I got to thinking, well, maybe it is my loader. So I did some modifications to it, just some temporary things. I've been using it for a while with those on there, but I think the skid steer setup on this loader is actually perfectly all right, and I'll show you why here in just a second. But I'm wondering if anybody else out there has had problems out of their skid steer quick attach. If so, drop a comment down below and let me know what it is and what you did to fix it. So I have looked at, you know, maybe going with a aftermarket type setup. I think I can get this whole setup from Kubota, but it's crazy expensive. So the other option is from somebody like ATI, or I think Everything Attachments sells a kit. It's not necessarily made by them, they may make part of it, but anyhow, I think this one's okay. There's a little bit of wear on it, but I think most of my issues have actually been on the attachment side. So let me show you what I got. We'll work on this for a little while, see if we can't get it straightened out, and then hopefully it helps you along the way. Y'all stick around. Here's the template. Be like this. And so this has the correct angles on it for a skid steer attach, and basically I'm gonna clamp this on here and figure out where this needs to be, but you can see this will line up. It has the right angle for that down there, and then this up here as well. And you can see I came in, I had some attachments that were loose, and what would happen is I would put down pressure on the loader. Well, that would make this get loose on the top and slide out and pop out like that. So I put these little shims here to kind of help prevent that, and it's worked okay. But I think I can do better, and now that I've used it enough and looked at it enough, so I just kind of stitch welded this. I'll cut these welds off and put this template up here and take some measurements and kind of see you know, what metal I'm gonna have to add where and how much to get this to match this template I have. So let me cut these off of here. We'll stick this template on here and take a look at it, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. Now, one issue you can run into if your attachments are coming off of your quick hitch, I say quick hitch, the skid steer quick attach, is sometimes one side can bend forward or backwards a little bit, and so the two halves of your quick attach won't be on the same plane. And you'll see what I'm talking about. I'll cut to some footage here, and it shows it before I straighten it up and then after I straighten it up. And so this is one way you can do that. This works well on this tractor. I've only had to do it a few times, but you know, it may help you out. So let's cut to that, and then we'll come back and I'll show you what I've done to this this quick attach up to this point. Okay, folks, Jess here over here on Farms. I've got a little issue going on with the quick attach on my loader. The top of this bracket is actually a little farther forward than that bracket. So what happens is when you try to hook up to an implement, you got a little bit too much space down here, and this handle, quick attach handle, doesn't want to go all the way down, doesn't want to close. I don't know if you can tell or how good it's going to come across on camera. Just something to think of is objects that appear to be parallel are parallel. So you can tell this bracket and that bracket are not parallel. See this, that one back there sticks out just a little more on the bottom. This tells me the top of this one needs to go that way just a hair. The way I'm going to fix that is over here on this bracket. I've got a cross tie stuck in these linkages right here, and I'm going to curl my bucket back, and what's going to happen is it's going to stop this arm from going once it reaches a certain point, but this cylinder is going to go ahead and keep pulling this arm back. And I think what's happened is probably maybe this cross member here is twisted a little bit. It does happen from time to time. I had an attachment come off the other day. I just haven't had real good luck out of this older Kubota quick attach. I read that they did a lot of upgrades on the newer ones, but unfortunately I've got an old one and it does cause me a little bit of issues. Not all attachments fit really good, so let's try to straighten this out. Alright, I'm in the loader here. Like I said, I'm going to start curling my bucket back. And I don't think it's grabbed yet to reach the stopping point. Alright, now this right arm over here is butted up against that cross tie. And so I'm going to put a little more pressure on it. I don't get too crazy with it, just do a little bit at a time. And then curl it back, get that slack, get it going the other way to where it's not grabbing this piece of wood over here anymore, and we'll go out and check it. As you can tell, it didn't quite do it, so we're going to hop back in and give it another try. So you may have to do this a few times, just because or I do, because I don't get too crazy with it first couple times. So let's see what it looks like. All right, well I had to get on it pretty good. Had to rev the engine up and do it several times to really get that enough hydraulic pressure to bend that arm, to bend this bracket back. You can see that's about as parallel as I'm gonna be able to get it. So, and it's, I mean, darn near perfect, I think. So well, all right, it got dark on me last night. I kept on working, but unfortunately, you know, you don't get real good footage when it's dark. So I'll show you what I've got going on here. Real simple. And so this is the shim piece I had on here. So I cut those off, and then I've got my template. I stuck my template on the side here and matched it up with this face and the bottom. And so that made sure it was matched up here up top, and then all lined up. And I clamped it on this side here with a clamp across here, and that way I could look in the side and see how it lined up with this angle here and the angle on the bottom. And actually this factory quick attach matched up to that template pretty close. From the factory, these come a little bit short, I believe, and that is to, you know, give you some wiggle room in case you do have an attachment that's made a little bit out of spec. I find that all my attachments are a little loose, so what I've done is add this on the front of this factory angle here. And so hopefully, you know, this will help tighten up any attachments. And I can come down and grind this if I need to and kind of do a tight, you know, kind of do some fine tuning on it on both sides. I actually think this bottom side down here is quite a bit worn out, and I think someone at some point left this loader down on the ground. A lot of this rusted out, so there's a lot of wear here, a lot of metal gone, and I think that's where a lot of my issues are. So really, I probably could put a plate, you know, 1/8 inch or 1/4 inch, 3/16 something down here, and that would really help me out. So yeah, just some quick mods there. We'll go hook up to some attachments and try it out and see what we got. If worst case, I'll just have to add some shims on the attachment side. Kind of sucks have to modify each attachment individually, but I'd rather do that than make any more modifications to this, unless it's down there on the bottom of that where all that metal is corroded away. Fast forward here a little bit, and you can see I've got this painted. It's all nice and dry now, which that's not going to stay looking that good for very long. All this looks good. Got all that welded out. Just kind of flatten it out a little bit, just to make sure it's on the same plane as it was originally. Now the other thing I added, as you've seen, is this kind of a shim spacer here on the bottom of this. I got all that painted, welded up and painted, and so I think we're good to go there. That should close that gap that we had before. Alright, so I just connected up to the stump bucket here real quick just to show you. And now there's still a little bit of a gap there, but every attachment is different. So on the pallet forks, this gap may close up and it may make perfectly up. But I can live with this. That's not a big enough gap to cause any issues, I don't believe. So, like I said, we'll use this for a while, try it out, and just kind of go from there. If we have to, we'll come back and modify it again. A lot of things on the farm, ranch, and homestead are trial and error. And this just happens to be one of those cases, but so far I think we're headed in the right direction, just from what little bit I've used this already. So I think we'll be good for a while on this one. Now ultimately, you can see there is some deterioration here on these arms of this quick attach system. So I have checked a few places and they do have the this setup in stock that would work on my loader, you know, but they're pretty pricey, so I'm gonna hold off on that as long as I can, and I think we'll get a while think we'll get a lot of use out of this before I really have to replace this quick attach setup. Well, I'm pretty happy with that. So I've used several different attachments now after making some of the modifications, and I think it's going to work out pretty good. So if this video helped you out at all, or gave you some ideas, do me a favor and click that like button, hit subscribe, and check out some of our other videos. But anyhow, that's it for this video. We've got some weather coming in. It's kind of sprinkling, starting to chill off pretty good, and potentially some ice coming this week. So I got some things to prepare for. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. Thank y'all for watching. Thanks for checking out the channel. God bless, and we'll see you on the next one.